Welcome to Beyond Talking Points from Little Visionaries Bookstore. I'm Bridgitte Jackson-Buckley, and today I'm speaking with Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace is an internationally known actress, 250 film credits, 6 series, over 400 commercials. Best known for her role as the mother in Steven Spielberg's E.T. She has appeared on every major network and talk show, including Oprah and The Today Show. Dee joins us today to discuss her 6th book, Born: Giving Birth to a New You. Welcome, Dee.
Oh, so happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I read Born, and it is a very quick, very practical and direct read. And there were several key points that I took away that were reiterated throughout the chapters. So let's start with, you write about a time like when you were a little girl that paved the way for you to trust the information that you received. So can you share that story with us and the importance of learning to trust subtle information?
Well, trust, if you're going to channel, trust is the biggest issue. And all little kids channel, guys. That's what imaginary friends are. That's what you have, all these stories of little kids talking in different languages. That's, little kids that know how to play Gershwin when they're 3, right? So, and all of you know how to channel, but you have to ask. Like the good book says, you have to ask to receive. Ask in the original Hebrew, however, means claim or demand. This will be delivered to me. So when I was little, I just had kind of blind faith like most kids do. And I would get messages about when my grandma was in trouble and woke my mom up at 3 a.m. and God love her, we got in the car and went over there, and the cat had turned all the burners on and the gas was filling the house. And I used to sit on these steps up to my room, and I would hear this voice going, "Help me, will you help me?" And I would say, "What do you need?" And it would say, "Just help me leave. I can't get out of this house." And in my naivete, I just said, "Well, just tell God that you want to come home." Never heard the voice again after that. My dad, after his suicide, one night I saw a mirror, in my mirror, a light, and it went to the middle of my room. And I heard my dad say, "This isn't your fault. This was meant to be. This was a lesson I have to learn. Your job now is to go on and be happy and productive and live the life you want." So I had a lot of experiences. And then later in life, after I got married, my husband was involved in this philosophy called conceptology, which came out way before The Secret and all that stuff. And we would go down and study that. And then I found my acting mentor, Charles Conrad, who taught me an acting technique where you get your energy very, very high and you throw all your energy to the person or the werewolf or the dog that you're working with. And what that does is it opens up your channel. It gets your mind out of the way. So when I got to really consciously doing this healing work, I went, "Oh my gosh, I know this. I've been doing this in my acting for many, many, many years." So I kind of had an innate trust in it.
Okay, so you had several incidents when you were a child
Yeah.
that exposed you to the extrasensory perception world, we'll say, and you weren't afraid, and
No.
you had a supportive environment in your mother. She listened to you, that night, which helped to save your grandmother's life. That was very powerful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times parents can dismiss that because they may not know what to do with it, or they'll say it was just a dream. And
most of the time parents dismiss it.
yeah.
And most
Yeah.
of the time we dismiss it.
Right, right.
You know, I think it scares us.
I do too. I do too. Yeah.
Because it's powerful.
And
it's
you don't always know what to do
bring
with
in
it.
that information. But what I want everybody to that's listening to know is that when you use that power through love, you cannot misuse it.
Okay, wonderful. And I love the quote, like at the start of chapter 1, where Albert Einstein says, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. And I thought, okay, well, we can just close the book. That's the end of it.
Well, indeed, except you have to know what to do with it.
What to do with it, yeah.
See, we're all creating every moment of our lives, but most of us are creating unconsciously. So you learned this in 5th grade, that everything's energy, but energy is neutral. There's no bad energy or good energy. It's neutral, and it must have a direction. So if you don't consciously give it a direction through your thoughts and your feelings and your belief systems and the perceptions you have of the world, it will take its direction from the TV, God forbid, or your subconscious, or your little child, which learned a lot of untrue guidances when you were little, old religious beliefs that don't work for you in your creation process. So the more you consciously are aware that you are the power through the free will that you were given, the more you get the life you want.
Okay, so can you give us an example of the difference between consciously directing energy and unconsciously?
Oh, I can give you a great example.
Okay, yeah, give us an example.
For example, if you watch an hour of TV, you can see up to 50 commercials that are telling you how you're going to get sick, probably what age you're going to get sick at, and the medicine that you should take that might make you sicker than the disease will anyway. And these messages are being given to you while you are watching beautiful, happy families with little dogs running around. So your brain goes, oh, I get it. Being sick makes me happy. Now, if you're not sitting there consciously going, yeah, thanks for sharing, but I am the God of me that's creating perfect, fabulous health right now in every moment, then that unconscious direction becomes a positive conscious direction. All you have to do is listen to the news. I love it now. Everybody's saying, well, probably everybody's going to get COVID.
Oh, and yeah, I heard that.
And I say to myself, well, thank you for sharing. I'm creating perfect, fabulous, beautiful health every moment.
You know, it's very powerful because I've heard that too. And then you have to consciously pay attention to, is that resonating with you? Are you like, oh yeah, I'll probably like, are you making a decision?
Yeah,
you know,
which is
yeah,
a direction of energy. Any kind of decision, any kind of self-definition. Like if you get up and you say, oh my God, I'm so tired, you will be tired because your brain says, oh, okay, that's what we're focusing on.
Exactly. Okay, so you outline the 6 principles of energy in the book. Energy is all there is. It's available to everyone equally. It must be directed consciously, or it will be directed by anyone or anything that draws its attention, which you just spoke on. It's the creative force of the universe. When it's in alignment with harmony and love, its aspects, masculine and feminine, are balanced. And 6, when it's in alignment with love and harmony, you know you are complete. So when did this understanding that everything is energy and the way we use energy is really what's important here, when did that realization hit home for you?
Oh, it was
When did
gradual.
you really get it?
It was a gradual training and understanding. I think I started with when my brother gave me Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, and then books would just come to me, and then I met my husband and we started studying this philosophy, and then I got into the acting, and then my husband died. And I dropped to my knees and I said, I don't want to be a victim and I don't want to be pissed off. I want a way we can heal ourselves. And like that, I got the first message, which was use the light within you to heal yourself. And that was the beginning. I had just started an acting studio. And what happened then after that moment was people would get up to do a scene and I would start getting downloads of where all their blocks were.
Oh.
And it was funny, if I had 6 auditors, 3 of them at the end of class would go, oh my God, I'll do anything. I'll do anything to study here. And the other 3 would go, hey, great, bye. Because 4 or 5 lines into a scene, I'd stop him and go, what's the thing with sex and your mom? That's a little woo.
Correct.
And it was always right on. So then my students' lives started to change. Then their parents wanted to work with me, then their friends. And now, of course, I have clients all over the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I like at the beginning where you talked about the clarification between, well, you made the statement, ask and it shall be given to you.
Yeah.
And that in the Hebrew language, ask means to claim or demand.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you talk about the different energy behind our requests or what we think we want to experience? Because I have definitely noticed, sometimes I may say, oh, I want to do something. And just that statement, it's so weak and flimsy.
Yeah.
And other times I may say, oh, I want to do, and it's more like it's done.
Yeah, because
no
you
question.
make a choice, you see. Mm-hmm. If you're just thinking, and this is what most people do, they're thinking about it and hoping about it and wishing for it and studying it, but they've never actually made the decision that says, I'm doing this and I'm doing this now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, because, you talk about that creation begins with a choice, and there's a difference between thinking about a choice, considering the possibilities, and actually making a choice.
Well, and the example I use is, let's say you have to get someplace and you have to walk out your front door. What most of us are doing is, well, I got to walk out that door if I'm going to get to the party. I wonder if it's safe to walk out that door. Gee, I wonder if I'm dressed right for the party. I wonder if everybody at the party's going to like me. You never walk out the door, right? To get where you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's why the difference is, if you're wishing and hoping and dreaming, you're not using the power of the God of you on this plane to exercise your free will, make a choice, and take action. Mm-hmm. So most people are talking about it all their lives, thinking about it all their lives, and thinking they are actually doing something about it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see how I've done that. And it's just, you give a good example that you couldn't take action towards becoming an actress until you made the choice to be
Exactly.
to be an actress, and that you also had to be open to all, and you really emphasize all possibilities.
Let me tell you, when you know exactly what you want and you commit to it and you feel the love around it, the universe will create it with you in so many better ways than you can ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you were doing some acting work, you were going through the motions, you were getting some roles, and then I think you had a period because you were saying you wanted to restart your career. And then you really definitively, you put out some specific things that you wanted, and it was at that time that you were offered the role for E.T. Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
You put out some specific criteria that you wanted.
Yep. And that's happened, gosh, 5 or 6 times in my career, when like I would say, oh, I think I want to do a television series for a while. And I would write out, and I suggest, like I do in the book, everybody write out exactly what they want so they're clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then say on the next column, I am creating, and rewrite each one of those. So you have to know what you want, but then you have to choose and commit to the creation of it. And I mean, I wanted to do a TV series, and I was clear I wanted to work with great people and decent hours and blah, blah, blah. I had all my, well, the universe brought me a comedy. I said to my manager, what? I'm known for my drama. Well, and it's improv. I said, what? I don't do improv. Well, I said, but I'm going in. I asked for it, I'm going in. Fell in love with the producer writer, and it ran for 3 years. And I found out that I was quite wonderful at comedy and improv. So, that's what I mean. And I think that's what they mean when they say God works in mysterious ways.
Oh, yeah. And that's why you emphasize being open to all possibilities.
Everything.
You would have shut that down.
Everything.
You would not have normally selected that. You would have shut it down, but you were open.
Yeah. If you ask and the universe brings you something, you have to say yes. A lot of my followers had a lot of questions about when COVID started and all the vaccines and everything. And I said, I don't know, let's ask the channel. And the channel said, the collective consciousness has come forward and asked for help. We have delivered the help, and now many of you do not want to accept it.
Yeah.
So there you go. When you get what you ask for, you have to say yes to it.
Yeah, I've read that many times, that there have been requests for help in the form of prayers, silent thoughts of I can't do this anymore, this isn't working for me. And we got a huge change as a result of all that in the form of a virus, in the form of a shutdown. And so then it seems that the question becomes, what are you going to do with this time? What are you going to do with this moment?
That's the question every moment of your life. When
Yeah.
I woke up after
That's
COVID
true.
hit and got the news that all the studios were shutting down, I went, oh my God, how am I going to make a living? And my channel kind of slapped me across the face and said, hey, the studios are not your living. Your consciousness is your living. Get up every day and say, what can I create?
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised that they told me at the end of the book to write out everything that I had created that year of COVID. I was astounded when it was all down in paper, how things just came to me. One day I got up and I said, okay, what can I create today? And I heard write the book. So I did.
I like that. I like that you write. That's the question you ask every single day. What can I create today?
Yeah.
It's very, very intentional. But I just think it's worth noting that this all possibilities is really fundamental, because we will ask for things and it will come in unexpected ways from unexpected places, unexpected
Usually.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you just have to be open. But one of the points that I really, really like, because I've read a lot of books on the laws of creation, but I really like this example you gave about the young lady who lived in New York and wanted to move to LA, but couldn't figure out how to make it happen. And so my big takeaway with her making the decision to move was to make that decision with the expectation of no difficulty.
That's right. Or to say it more positively, the expectation that everything would be delivered to her in flow, and she would be guided all the way. And she was, and she still is.
I just loved it because it was just so clear, like, wow, like how you can say, oh, I want to get a cup of coffee, but you don't expect difficulty with that. You think it's simple, easy, I know how to do it. Oh, I want to have a starring role in a movie, and instantly you have all of these expectations of difficulties, but I got to meet the right director. I got to audition. I got to do this and that. And it just, that was just
Which, by the way, I didn't audition for E.T. They just offered it to me.
Yeah, that's what you said. You stopped and said,
I want to speak real quickly too about the 3 pillars, because I think that is the biggest place where people fall out of their creation once they've made a choice and committed. The 3 pillars of creation are how I see myself, how I see others seeing me, and how I see the world seeing me. Most of those things are locked into our brains by 8 years old. So if you really want to see the walls that you're hitting, go back to your childhood and see what you were taught verbally or modeled between conception and 8 years old. For example, I worked with a woman. She said, Dee, I get right up to the point of creating something. I mean, it's just right there, and I never follow through. Well, the channel said, ask her about her birth. It was a really, really, really difficult birth. They couldn't pull her out. They had problem with it. See, so she had trouble being born. And every creation, right, is being born. You're born in every creation, in every moment that you live. So if I see myself as an actress and I look out and I go, yeah, but the casting directors and the producers, I mean, who am I? They're not going to, you know, and I say, the world is so big. Oh my gosh, I don't know anybody in New York. And you see, it stops right there.
Right.
I have to see me as an actress and see a world that is open to me being an actress, and see everybody looking at me going, wow, we want to help her be the actress she is. Right.
And you're also saying feel the love around being an actress.
Always.
Feel it as if it's
Anything
happening.
You want to create, you have to love, guys. Most of us want to create more money by hating the fact that we don't have it. You're never going to get more money that way. Most of us want a relationship by hating the last 4 that we've had. Not going to get what you want that way. Be clear about what you want. And I teach everybody to find their love place. And it's so easy, just anything, we'll do it right. Anything that opens your heart and puts a smile on your face. I go right to my doggie, Freedom, or Hawaii that I love, or my daughter when she was a baby. So everybody finds your love place. And just feel it right in your heart. And yes, you do know where your heart center is. And just feel it. That's what having money feels like. That's what having a beloved other feels like. That's what having health feels like. It's all love.
Mhm. Okay, and so how does making a claim, like if you're asking or if you're wanting something like a relationship or to be an actress or more money or whatever, to open your business, how does just making the statement that you want something differ from making a choice at the 0 point? Because you talk about the 0 point.
Well, it's
Okay,
not
so is
different.
there a
It's
difference?
part of the process.
Okay.
You have to go to that place where nothing exists, where none of your stories exist, where your fears don't exist. You go to the 0 point where all creation happens. Like a baby doesn't happen until we create it out of nothing, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you let go of all your limiting expectations and you just go to that 0 point. And then you say, I am the powerful God of me that is creating my divine right relationship right now. And wow, that feels like love.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not an affirmation, that is a direction to energy. And when you are the frequency of what you want, the universe must respond. That's science.
Must.
Must.
And that, yeah, and that is what Born is saying. It's a book about directing energy, knowing neutrality, self-actualization, and that it's showing how spirituality, brain science, and religion are all teaching the same principles.
Yes, ma'am. I'm convinced that Christ was teaching brain science. The only language they had back then. You know, think only on these things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Love, peace, joy, harmony. Brain science says whatever you focus on, you create more of.
Right, right. And so if you're constantly giving your attention to things that you don't want, you're creating more of that.
You bet.
And it's not putting your head in the sand, and it's just consciously putting your energy on the world you'd like to live in, the community
it's a
you want, the
choice.
life you want. It's a choice that you can absolutely do.
People will call into the show and say, oh, I'm so worried about the state of America right now, we're blah, blah, blah. I said, well, do you know that you just created more of it right now? In my meditations in the morning, I do a 10-minute breathing meditation, which is listed on my weekly blast that I send out, how to do it. Very, very powerful, guys. Again, it's brain science. It's taught in the realms of spirituality. It's all backed by brain science, opening up your vagus nerve that goes throughout your whole body and shoots out into, you see, we're electrical.
Right.
Our hearts, they measure with electrocardiograms, electroencephalograms. So every thought and feeling we have has an electrical impulse that goes out into the universe, which is electromagnetic. So whatever we send out, the universe is going, boom, let me plug into that one. Just like plugging into your favorite TV program. It works exactly the same way.
So what has been the most surprising or unexpected part of your spiritual journey?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Wow, I've never had that question before.
I love that question.
Surprising. I'm surprised every time the work expands exponentially and we get a new piece of information. I'm always surprised and I'm always excited. Like this is a little out there, guys, so hang with me. I just got the piece of information that there are many of us existing on different planes in different space and time. And some of the us's out there can actually be holding the us on this plane back because they want to protect us. So we have to direct that all of the D's that exist in any dimension merge with my divine self here on this plane and follow the direction that I want in this lifetime on this plane.
Yeah,
Now
that's a
was
big
surprising
one.
to me.
Yeah, that's a big one to kind of grasp, mentally, that there are many of us,
If everything's energy,
Yeah,
don't
right.
you think your energy's hanging out lots of different places?
Right.
I mean, come on, we've
Absolutely.
all been here lots of times.
And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on beyond what we can see, obviously, with our five senses. There's a whole lot more that we may not understand we have access to, but it may be a little hard to understand.
So much you can't imagine. And it's when you just let go and trust, and I give you all the simple steps in Born. When you let go and just trust, miracles happen. And real quickly, I just want to talk about Bubbalopaloo too.
Okay.
It's a children's book that I wrote. It's going to be a series to teach young children all of these principles through storybooks. I mean, don't we wish we'd had it back then? We wouldn't have to be backtracking all
and
this
learning
time.
all this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's nice. That's wonderful. What's the name of the book again?
Bubbalopaloo.
Bubbalopaloo and the
Yeah.
I Love Me's.
Right.
Wonderful.
The
Thank you so much.
illustrations in it are just beautiful too. They're
Okay,
done by
wonderful.
an Italian artist named Vincenzo Lodato. And it's funny. Adults have such a hard time saying it. Kids say it just like that. Ah, Bubbalopaloo.
Bubbalopaloo. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so are there any final closing thoughts for anyone that may be having a little difficult time?
Guys. Love yourself. That's the most important thing. And we are never taught to love ourselves. We are taught not to love ourselves, that it's braggadocious and prideful. And no, the more you love yourself and who you are, the more you are filled up with that love, and your cup runneth over, and you have all that love to share.
Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy listening to this conversation with Dee Wallace. Little Visionaries is an independent bookstore that, beyond selling books, hosts community-focused interviews and author events. Remember, the best way to support your local bookstore and community we serve is as simple as buying a book. Dee has authored 6 books on the subject of self-creation. She conducts a live call-in internet radio show each Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific and offers monthly webinars on a variety of creation subjects. Dee conducts private sessions from her home in Woodland Hills, California, via phone and also in person, and you can learn more at imdeewallace.com. Thank you, Dee.
Oh, thank you. It's been a real joy. Thank you.